Hey, good morning. Today I'm going to conduct a tutorial on how to implement skin smoothing on a portrait pic using Photoshop. Now again, there are a lot of softwares and tools that can do this, but here my intent is to achieve this using a very simple yet basic technique in Photoshop. So here I have a pic of pearl taken in the morning. Well, it doesn't look that process to me, so how can I improve this pic? Well, let's get right into it. Here let me say that I'm assuming that you have the basic knowledge of Photoshop software. So the first thing that I'll do is create a duplicate layer. I can do it in two ways. One is to highlight it, click it and drag it down to the add layer mask, which is the second last icon on the right. Or I can highlight it, go to layer and select duplicate layer. Now click on OK. This will create a duplicate layer. Next step would be to go to filter, highlight blur and go to surface blur. This will create a blur effect to the entire surface of your pic. Here I'll select the radius to 29 and the threshold to 20. Now again, here I would like to warn not to increase the radius or threshold too much, or you might render your pic completely blurred or animated. Now click on OK. I'll give it a minute to render it. Now here again I would like to mention other softwares or tools which can create the same effect, that is a smoothen skin. One is Portrait Professional Studio and the second one would be Nick Effects, which is a plugin for Photoshop, and they certainly do make your life easier. So just a few more seconds. Today my system is quite slow and I apologize for that. Okay, so here we have the surface blur implemented. Now there are few things that I would not like to include in the surface blur. For example, the hair, the eyes, eyebrows, the lips, small things like earrings and all. So for that I'll do is I'll create a layer mask. Again, there are two ways. One is to click on the duplicate layer. Now go down and click on add layer mask. Or the second way is to click and drag the duplicate layer to this third icon, which is the add layer mask. So once you have the add layer mask add, which would look like this, I'll go and select white as foreground color. I'll zoom in to the eyes, right? Yep. So I'll zoom in and I'll select the eraser tool. I'll tweak the hardness and the size. I'll keep the hardness around in between 40 and 50s. Select the opacity to around 50 and flow to 100. Beg your pardon. Now to increase and decrease the brush size, I can use the bracket keys on your keyboard. I'll erase away portions, the eye, the eyebrow, yep. I'll go down to the lips, use erase here also. Now what this does is to erase portions on the mask so that your background, the original background image comes up in the front. So now next would be the earring. Go up, clear away portions of her hair. Okay, go down and clear that too. Okay. So that's done. So next step would be to check for any spots on the face, like for example this spot. So to remove this spot, what I'll do is I'll go and click on the layer thumbnail, which is here. Once that is selected, I'll go and click on elliptical marquee tool. I'll draw a radius around that particular spot and I'll right click on fill, ensure that content aware is selected and you have opacity at 100, and I click OK. Now that will take care of the spot. The next thing would be to take care of the dark part under her eyes, and for that I'll use the patch tool, which is right here. Now I'll draw a radius around the dark portion under her eyes. Looks like she's not getting too much of sleep. I wonder why. Now I'll select it and drag it down. What it'll do is it'll blend. I'll do it to the next portion and I'll draw a radius around it, click and drag it down and leave it. And here we have the blend effect. So once the patch part is done, I'll go to the hand tool and double click on that to bring the photograph into full view. The next step would be to flatten the image. To do that, I'll go to the right hand corner of the panel, which is right here. Click on it and go down to flatten image and click. That will flatten the image. Next step would be to crop it as per my liking or requirement. Now here I'll select original ratio instead of unconstrained to keep the aspect ratio as it was to the original. Click on the corners and drag it down here, drag it up. Once done, I can either press enter or click on the submit button, which is right on top. The second way would be to take it to portrait mode. So again, I'll drag it to portrait mode. Once that's done, I'll click and drag the photograph to bring the subject into the frame. So here we go. Alright, now again, as I said, I'll click on the submit button or enter key. Once that is done, I'll save the file. So for that, I'll go to File, Save As. I'll name it Pearl. Select the location, so C drive, and click on Save. I'll maintain the quality at maximum. Click OK. So there you have it, skin smoothing using basic functions in Photoshop. Thank you for watching this tutorial and keep me updated with your valuable comments, feedbacks and requests for any specific topic you want a video on, and I'll try my level best to cover it. Thank you. Chris signing out.